Hey everybody, I'm Brams, and I wanted to make a new Vanilla Dome One Wings tutorial because the original one I made is about 2.5 years old and not very good. So you want to enter the stage with Yoshi, and ideally a cape. And at the beginning here, it just so turns out that this platform isn't really long enough to get P-Speed consistently. So a good way to get P-Speed consistently is turn left and then run to the right, and you'll get P-Speed a lot easier. You can still get it just by jumping, but I believe it's frame perfect, 1 or 2 frames, something like that. So you're gonna want to turn left. Wow, and I screwed up. Very good. So after you do this, you're going to just keep running to the right, eating these 2 Buzzy Beetles, and you want to jump, and I guess fly, at this point here, and just keep holding right, Y, and B. And you'll end up flying up into the corner underneath that pipe there. So when you hit the ceiling, you want to release B and tap X, or Y, I guess they both do the same thing. And the goal of that is to eat this Buzzy Beetle that's walking around in here. The reason you want to eat that guy is because later on, when you spawn the wings, they will actually be floating in that area where he's walking, and sometimes if you're trying to grab the wings, you might accidentally grab him instead. So it's best just to get him out of the way early, so you have nothing to worry about. So after you do that, you want to land and jump off of Yoshi, but not like a spin jump. So if you just hit A, you'll spin jump and you'll probably hit the shell, which is bad. So what you want to do instead is, when you're on the ground, duck, and then very quickly hit B and then A. It kind of just looks like you're duck jumping off of him, but what you're actually doing is you're jumping and then dismounting Yoshi like that. But if you hit B and then A really quickly, Yoshi will barely move, and you really want him to kind of stay in that corner. So after you do that, you're going to want to grab this shell and duplicate this block upwards. And the way to do that is just by throwing the Buzzy Beetle shell upwards into it. And the visual cue I use for that is about like here, roughly. You can see the 2 black lines in the middle of the block, and you want the top of the shell to line up with those 2 lines, just about. So let me do this again here. I'm going to make a new save state. So there you go. You'll know if you duplicate the block if the block duplicates. And you'll notice that it kind of destroys the lower half of the dragon coin, and that's important. So after you duplicate this block, you're going to want to come over here, stun the shell, and spin all these blocks, and then grab the dragon coin. It's important that you spin the blocks, because if you don't do that, and you grab this dragon coin, well, I hit this block up above. But anyway, if you grab the dragon coin while that block is still spinning, you'll notice that now we just have an extra turn block, and we don't want that. We want an invisible key block. And the way to get that invisible key block is to grab the dragon coin while this block below it is solid. So now there's an invisible block here with a key inside. And the way to get wings is by duplicating the key block to the right. So if you line yourself up right about here, you'll notice that this block kind of pushes you to the side. And that's basically where you want to be. You can be a little bit farther left, but it's really consistent just to like brush up against the side of that block. And then you just again dupe the invisible block and the wings will appear. So grabbing the wings is the last step here, and the way I find is easiest is just to jump on that block and then stick out your tongue. So you want to like jump into this block and then jump onto this one in the corner here, if that makes sense. And then once you're in that corner, you can just hit B and Y, and Yoshi will grab the wings. So this trick saves about 45 seconds, I believe. So it's definitely worth learning if you're running 96 exit or all castles or any other category that involves VD1 normal exit. It is tough, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And like I said, it saves a lot of time, so definitely worth learning. And also, the skills you learn doing this trick are applicable in other levels that have wings as well, such as Gnarly. So it's definitely a good stepping stone to more advanced strats in 96. So I'll do the whole thing, the whole stage here, just so you can see what it's supposed to look like. And hopefully I did a good job of explaining everything. But if not, whatever. Just shoot me a message on Discord or something, and I will help as best I can. Alright, so I got a 375 transition there. That's pretty good for this strat. This is one of the slower strats, but it's really consistent. There are quicker ways of getting wings, but I'm not going to go over that because it's too hard. But yeah, hope you learned something. And again, if you have any questions, shoot me a message on Discord or Twitter or send me a letter or something, and I'll do my best to help.